Learning a new language is an absolute game changer for your personality and brain, and it's actually a great way to spend the time. So let me show you why it's really worth starting. Research shows that people who speak 2 or more languages develop symptoms of dementia 4 to 5 years later on average, compared to those who speak only 1 language. That's 4 to 5 extra years of mental clarity. Of course, this doesn't mean that learning a language cures disease, but it does build what scientists call a cognitive reserve, an extra mental capacity that makes the brain more resilient to age-related changes. When you speak more than 1 language, your brain is constantly making choices. It switches all the time. It suppresses 1 language while using the other. And that process may seem simple, but in fact, it's a serious mental workout. Over time, this constant activity strengthens the network of connections in your brain, and the denser and more active that network becomes, the better your brain is prepared to cope with challenges like dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Learning a new language may start with vocabulary, but soon you find yourself stepping into a new culture and a different way of thinking. Take Spanish, for example. As you learn the language, you slowly start picking up things about the culture you never noticed before. You start listening to the music, feeling the emotions in Spanish, and picking up expressions and ways of communicating that simply can't be translated. If you learn Chinese, you encounter a completely different structure of language. Instead of an alphabet, the language is written using thousands of characters. Even basic literacy requires learning several thousands of them. And the deeper you go with languages, the experience begins to change. At some point, you stop translating in your head, and you start thinking directly in that language, and it just feels natural. That's a key milestone in learning a language. You understand people more quickly, and you don't have to think about every word anymore. There are activities that are really good for the brain. Let's take 2. Solving puzzles and playing a musical instrument. Puzzles sharpen your logic and help you spot patterns, so you get better at figuring things out. And music is a different kind of challenge. It builds coordination, memory, and emotional expression, while also improving your sense of timing and how you process sound. Both of these activities train specific parts of the brain. Now take language learning. When you learn a language, you're using memory, attention, listening, pronunciation, and understanding, often all at once. It's different parts of the brain working together at once. So it's not simple, and that's exactly how the brain gets stronger. For a long time, people believed that the brain stopped developing once we reached early adulthood, but now we know that's just not true. Our brain keeps changing and adapting throughout our entire life. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Every time we learn something new, our brain forms new connections between neurons. And with repetition, those connections get stronger and more efficient. In fact, the stronger our neuroplasticity, the less likely our brain is to decline with age. Now let's go back to languages. Using or learning a new language is one of the most powerful ways to train neuroplasticity. As we engage with it, our brain is doing many things at the same time. We understand meaning, respond in real time, and turn thoughts into words. With repetition, this process becomes faster and more automatic. Our brain adapts, builds stronger connections, and starts working more efficiently. Every time we use a new language, we're actively reshaping our brain. If you're not learning a language right now, this might be a good time to start. It's never been easier, with the internet, YouTube, movies, and content in almost every language. And once you build that skill, it stays with you for life. At first, it might feel difficult like anything new, but over time, it just becomes easier and becomes part of your routine. And that's where consistency matters. Day by day, it starts to feel natural, and when you actually start speaking, you realize it was really worth it.